So I was looking into the Boogeyman short story that the Boogeyman film is based on.
By Stephen King.
The
man himself.
If you had to guess, how much of the film do you reckon is in the short story?
I'm going to say...
How much of the short story do you reckon? You get what I mean. Like, how much of the film do you reckon the short story covers?
All of it.
No.
Half?
The short story is the scene where fucking David Dalmatian comes in and fucking sits down and they have like the therapy session.
Oh!
That is the short story.
Oh.
The short story is about how his family dies, basically.
That's like 10%.
Yeah.
Of the movie.
Yeah. The rest
is a boring elevated horror movie.
That's the thing, you can tell. Because it's mad to me though that the fucking ghost mum flame wasn't Stephen King. But that's
like, because that's a very Stephen King.
Yeah. But like the rest of it, all the fucking, my mum died. Oh wait, there's a monster. That has nothing fucking to do.
Yeah. So the movie's weird because it's basically just about like a family who.
Yeah.
The mum's dead. Died in some sort of accident.
Car related.
Probably
a car accident.
And then what happens is there's a ghost. Or not a ghost.
No, he's not a ghost.
Some sort of creature.
The Boogeyman.
Yeah, the Boogeyman who every child, Oogie Boogie Man. He's
immortal, but he's not.
Well, yeah. So
he also is.
So his whole thing is like he like scares you.
He scares you to death.
He's really scary, okay? He's a really spooky little creature.
That is potentially the most convenient villain premise I've ever heard of in my life. He gets these little kids who are defenseless into positions where he could kill them. But he doesn't.
He scares you.
He just wants to spook you real bad.
No, because what it is.
Except the little baby at the beginning. Fuck that baby.
No, because no, he will kill you.
Yeah.
He just likes to make sure you're scared enough
to
make it taste better.
He
thrives off fear.
Oh yeah. What, that little girl wasn't fucking scared enough when she saw a fucking boogeyman under her bed? No, that's not enough. He could get. Okay, that little girl, right? Is fucking one, indestructible because she has thrown against a TV and she's just kind of chill, and two, she must fucking taste disgusting because that boogeyman has every possible opportunity to fucking gobble her up, and he just sits there.
That's true.
He's such a lazy bastard.
Yeah, it's a weird movie because it wants to be scary.
Yeah,
and you know what? It does an alright job.
It starts being scary. But then as an audience member...
It never goes anywhere near that again.
Because as an audience member, you sit there and you slowly realise, especially when they say the words scare you to death, oh, there's no stakes.
Yeah. You're just really scared.
Yeah. There are literally no stakes.
Yeah, like the film...
Every scene ends underwhelmingly.
The film literally begins with a baby being killed.
Yeah, by the Oogie Boogie Man.
By the Oogie Boogie Man. But then the Boogeyman...
Yeah.
Never does anything even remotely close to that.
No. He just hides under a bed. He opens up some cupboards.
But it's frustrating,
He puts how the fuck did he do this, by the way? He puts a tooth in a cigar.
Wait. He puts it in the cigar?
Well, because she smoked the cigar and then she threw up the tooth.
But
how did she do that?
I think the tooth was in her something.
Yeah, so how did he do that?
I don't really know because she
just scared her to death.
Because she didn't
scared it into her.
She didn't inhale the tooth.
No, but then why was the tooth in her?
That's what I'm trying to figure out because did
the fucking boogeyman stick her?
Because she inhaled the smoke in that scene. Yeah, because the scene is she goes to people. I've got real drugs, and it's like
and she pulls out the fucking
she pulls out a spliff. she pulls out a joint, which. When you say real drugs,
70 years old.
When you say real drugs, I'm expecting she's gonna bring out fucking crack. She's gonna they're gonna go crazy in that room. But no, she freaks that out. She smokes it, and it starts freaking out. She starts coughing and she's about to throw up. And then a tooth comes out of her.
A little.
She didn't inhale the. I feel like you would know.
I don't know about her. I would notice if someone stuck a tooth in my mouth.
And how
that might just be me.
How would tooth be able to hide within the thing?
Also,
because to me, I don't know about you, but if I'm if I'm about to smoke some weed, if I look down at the joint and I see there's a big tooth in it, like, I'm gonna be a bit like, I'm not smoking that.
The Boogeyman's grand plan for scaring the little girl to death was to shut the door on her.
Shut the door, turn the lights off.
To fucking shut the door so that a tooth comes out. Mm-hmm. When she was already planning on pulling her tooth out.
It was already gonna happen.
He did it early. Scare you to death.
This is a really weird movie. It's
got some good parts.
It's got some interesting parts and cool scares.
The second half falls apart.
The problem with the movie is Rob Savage is a decent director, but he's been given a script that's completely just devoid of any tension.
I think there's a shot that sums up the scene. I genuinely think the scene of that kind of first scene of the little girl where the boogeyman sneaks into her fucking room and then hides under the bed. That scene to me sums up the movie. Yes, because it starts really cool. Yeah. Then it has the really cool shot where she looks under the bed and it like flips. Then you get the cool scare where it's the boogeyman being all oogie boogie. And then nothing happens because she just runs away and she's fine.
That
sums up the movie.
That's essentially how all of the scares go.
Yeah.
Movie is you go, ah, and then I run away.
And I'm fine because the boogeyman's fucking stupid.
But it's like, because it's a tough one because it's funny because Rob Savage is a director he's known for doing Host and Dashcam, which are two very low budget found footage movies, like literally cost like less than $1 million. Take a guess what the budget for this film is.
20.
35 million.
35?
35 million.
Did all of that go towards the CGI blobby man?
Well, that's the thing. It's a $35 million movie, and the big design of the creature, instead of them putting the money towards practical effects, it's just this CGI blob that just... And I'm why would you get this director who's very capable of directing, like, and doing, like, really cool practical effects? You give him a bigger budget... And then you have them do CGI that just looks completely like whatever. Like it's bizarre. Like I don't understand why. Because and it sounds weird to say, but to me this feels like it's got a very similar vibe to when Marvel will be like, "Hey, did you direct an indie movie? That's really dope. You should like come on board and like direct a movie for us." Yeah, like, hey, like, you directed a $5 million movie? How about a $255 million movie? And it's like, that's what it feels like. But at the same time, it's a horror movie. Yeah. That's what's really strange about it. It's not a summer blockbuster. It's a horror movie. Yeah. And yet, it has the same kind of feel to it as a Marvel movie. Where it's like, there's some semblance of identity in it, but it's still... it kind of just ends up being an A24 horror movie that's been but like you've taught an AI to write an A24 horror movie. It feels every single fucking beat that you would expect from a film like this. It shows up.
It feels like the kind of horror film that we get so many parodies of nowadays. Yeah. Because it's so generic.
It's so,
a boogeyman, fucking hell. I mean, you can't think of a more generic film.
Yeah. There's a horror creature who ends up being like a metaphor of some kind to someone's trauma.
What is the metaphor?
Grief.
I didn't get the metaphor. Is there a metaphor, or is it just she has trauma and there's also a boogeyman?
It's a metaphor. In a vague term. In a very vague, like, sense.
Trauma.
It's a metaphor for horror and grief and how when you lose someone, the guilt and all the different
attacks you
feelings.
Like a boogeyman.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, but it does all that. Yeah. And then it just kind of, I don't know, it just fizzles out by the end.
It's also a cliffhanger ending, I guess.
Well, apparently there's sequel ideas.
Oh, is
there
are
sequel ideas apparently? Boogeyman.
There's just two of the fuckers running.
Yeah, like it's apparently there's sequel ideas. I imagine that's not going to go anywhere.
No, I don't want that to be.
I really hope there isn't one. Because I think what it is I really like Rob Savage and I wish he wasn't doing these.
Yeah, like
I'd rather him do something else.
Also, I feel like they've kind of exhausted the boogeyman concept because it's a fucking short story they turn into an hour 40 film.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. When you read the story, or when you look at the story synopsis, there's not enough.
No.
It literally is just like, the scene of the guy telling a therapist about like, the boogeyman killed my daughter. It's like that's a cool short film idea, but there's not enough there to justify a feature-length film without it's essentially just becoming a generic horror movie where you've kind of combined this story of grief with but here's this chunk from the Stephen King story. It's weird. It's a really strange movie to like view because it's so weirdly put together.
It's also, I mean, conceptually, fucking obviously it's a 1970s concept applied to the 2010s. Okay, I don't know if anyone in this film's ever heard of a light switch, but like, okay, I don't care about horror films where protagonists act stupid because who cares? It's the filmmaking and the storytelling. That's what's more important.
I don't really, because it's one of them. It's like because people said about A Quiet Place, where like why would like they go somewhere where they can make sounds, or why is this person pregnant? And it's like if they went, it would be a very boring movie. Exactly. So like,
and fair enough, that applies in this film. But at the same time, it's hard to give a shit when the little girl who knows that the monster who's coming after her only appears in darkness doesn't just turn the fucking lights on when she's playing the PS4.
Yeah, there's really weird scenes where like the house is just really dark
for no reason,
and it's like
that fucking woman who's like all of her family are dead because of the monster. So her solution to that is to live in candlelight.
Use lights.
Just turn the fucking light on.
And it's like, but it's frustrating because it's like it does all of these things, and then you're like, but then it is competently made.
Yeah,
it's not a bad movie. No, sounds like we're fucking destroying it. But it's not a terrible movie. It's just a movie that's just so painfully
it doesn't
generic.
Need to exist.
Yeah, it's just a boring like horror movie.
I would not necessarily recommend it, but if you're looking for a horror film to watch, you can do a lot worse than the Boogeyman.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It is a fine way to spend an hour 40.
I think for me though, it's just when studio horror is starting to get a hell of a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
You know, when you have, stuff like Barbarian, Smile, Malignant, and all these studio horror movies that are far more interesting and are doing things that are unique.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if there's really a space for that stuff right now. Because to me, I'm like, this is not.
If Boogeyman came out in the 70s, if it was made in the 70s,
yes,
it could be a classic. But in the 2020s, there's not a place for it.